Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more powerful stories like this. One evening, as my wife Sarah gently pulled me toward the couch, an unmistakable tension filled the room. Her hands trembled slightly, and she refused to meet my gaze. Something was clearly weighing on her. I assumed it was something small, maybe work stress or worries about our finances. But then she took a shaky breath, looked into my eyes, and uttered the words that would turn my world upside down. "I've developed feelings for someone else." For a moment, time froze. It felt as though the universe had gone silent. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. Instead, a faint, almost peaceful smile crossed my face. Not from happiness, but from a deep, quiet acceptance. "All right," I whispered. Sarah's expression twisted into confusion. She had expected rage or heartbreak, but instead I stood up calmly, walked into the kitchen, and poured myself a glass of water. The word "all right" hung in the air like a wall between us. For years, I had drained myself trying to hold together a bond that was slowly coming apart. I had ignored the late-night messages she hid, the sudden girls' trips, and the coldness that had crept into her voice. Deep down, I'd known this moment was coming. Her confession didn't destroy me. It simply confirmed the truth I'd long been avoiding. And strangely, it set me free. Sarah stumbled through excuses, claiming it was all a mistake and that she never meant to hurt me. Her voice barely reached me anymore. With calm finality, I told her to pack her things and go to the person she thought she loved. That night, I quietly gathered her belongings, set them by the door, and went to bed without another word. She left in silence, never realizing that her departure was the greatest gift she could give me. The weeks that followed brought unexpected peace. The silence in the house no longer felt lonely. It felt clean, like fresh air after a storm. I threw myself into work, focused on my health, and reconnected with friends I had long neglected. My days were no longer dictated by her moods or secrets. For the first time in years, I lived for myself. About a month later, Sarah showed up at my door. Her eyes were swollen, her confidence shattered. She was just a shadow of the woman who had left. She asked if we could talk. Though hesitant, I let her in. Tears spilled before she even sat down. "I made a terrible mistake," she sobbed. "He wasn't who I thought he was. I still love you." I studied her face, unsure if her remorse was genuine or another act. Part of me wanted to believe her, we had shared so much. But another part of me remembered the nights of doubt, the quiet tears, the pain. "You said you loved someone else," I replied evenly. "Now you're saying it wasn't real?" She nodded desperately, saying she'd been confused, scared, and foolish. She begged me to believe that her earlier words were a fleeting lapse in judgment. But the same strange calm from that night returned. "Sarah," I said softly, "it's over. Your choices revealed who you truly are." Her face went pale. She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. I explained that I had moved on, not with someone new but with myself. Love that's been broken by betrayal doesn't return. It becomes an echo of what once was, familiar yet hollow. She pleaded for counseling, for another chance, but her desperation only made my clarity stronger. I told her she needed to find her own path now, one that no longer included me. After she left, I stood by the window watching her figure fade down the street, just like she had weeks before. But this time there was no sadness, no anger, only certainty. She had made her choice, and now I had made mine. In the months that followed, I began rebuilding my life. Not by finding someone else, but by rediscovering who I was. I traveled to new places, picked up new interests, and found real joy and laughter again. I realized that sometimes the most painful endings lead to the most peaceful beginnings. Sarah reached out a few more times, but I never replied. I carried no bitterness, only gratitude. Her confession had shaken me awake from a love that had long died. She thought she had broken me, but in truth she had set me free. When people ask if I regret letting her go, I always answer the same way, not for a second. Because the night she said, "I've developed feelings for another person," and I responded, "All right," I didn't lose a wife. I reclaimed myself.